So what is the full band lineup? Who sings and who plays which instrument?
The full lineup is myself, my name is Jim, and there's Camille on the guitar, who does the lead guitar really, and Zoran is also playing guitar, and then there is Cozzy, he likes to be called, playing the bass, and then there's James, who is on the drums.
Awesome. How and when did the band form?
We formed in 2014. It was a Camille-based thing where he posted an advert on Join My Band looking for a singer, and I responded. I think it was February 2014. He posted that, and I responded straight away, and he picked up the email in March, end of March, with me saying that I would like to join the band. I sent him links to the old records and stuff, and he responded with, yeah, come down and check out what we sound like, and I went down, and it was a very nice experience.
Tell us anything interesting about your hometown.
So my hometown is Norwich. That was where I was born, in the Norfolk Norwich Hospital, which was on Newmarket Road back in those days, which is now flats, I believe. I was born in 1974. I think they built the new hospital there in 99, I think. They built the new one, and Camille works in there, so that's something interesting about Norwich. It's got a massive castle which is lovely. It has a museum inside with various artifacts from Stone Age right the way through the medieval times to other areas of the world, including some Egyptian mummies, which is well worth a visit, and also the dungeons with all the death masks and things like that, which is great. Norwich also has a secret underground town, which not many people know about, which is around the sort of perimeter of the castle, where the mall is and stuff like that, and you can go there for visits. I've not been yet, but yeah, it's weird that they've just kind of built on top of an existing city town thing. And apparently there are interlinked routes underground from churches to various pubs there. I think at one point in Norwich there were 365 pubs. That was a pub for every day of the year, and obviously with declines of times and people not going to pubs anymore, there's probably half that left. So support your local pubs and clubs, and they won't disappear.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so when and how did the band really start gelling and solidifying?
Well, me and Camille, we've always gelled quite well, and I admired his different style to the normal guitar player. So we've always really gelled together, and we've had several different musicians come in and out of the band over the years that haven't really understood what our mission was. But recently, in the last year, just after the pandemic, just after the virus suddenly disappeared, we've come about finding decent members that all contribute in every way, emotionally, financially, and desperately wanting to make something of the music. So I would say from this moment is when we started to gel.
So who are your musical influences?
As a band, we've got various different musical influences. Camille's more into like the pop scene. although he does love Slipknot and some of the new bands like Red Leopard. He has that kind of approach of, you know, pop culture is very important to him. I'm more into like Black Sabbath and Pantera, Slayer, the traditional heavy metal stuff, as well as grunge music. One of my favourite vocalists is Chris Cornell. James, the drummer, is more into like death metal, kind of really heavy impact drumming, as you would probably expect, because that's what he's like on the drum. Zoran's more of a gent guy, I guess, into that kind of modern style of guitar playing. And Cozzy's more into, say, like, you know, the commercialised music of bands like Five Finger Death Punch and just Tremonti, or is someone that he likes. But yeah, I grew up on bands like Def Leppard and Motley Crue, and the grunge scene really changed my opinion of that sort of music, really. But I listen to everything now.
And where did the name of the band come from?
That was Camille's concept. I think he keeps that one close to his heart. He hasn't really told anyone why that name exists, but we kind of deciphered it for ourselves by using Urban Dictionary to find out its meaning. And we've kind of used that slogan to ruin everything completely as probably one of the better terminologies for it. But it's also, you know, Hedron is a shape. But, you know, no one really knows the answer.
And how far back does your history with each other extend?
Well, the thing is with me is the musicians don't derive from school or anything like that, although I started off my music with people from school, you know, bands and stuff from school, but as you get older they kind of go about their separate ways, so we just kind of found these people through social media. And Zoran, the other guitarist, literally lives 2 roads down from me, so we've kind of known each other from that, from 2015 I think it was. So yeah, he's come back into the band recently from having a break from it, and he's quite enjoying it.
So where have you played or toured?
Well, we've only played in the UK. We're one of these bands that, although we love the local scene, there's some great bands there I've already mentioned. We want to be one of these bands that kind of tour around and meet new people, and we've played several festivals over the years, played with some great bands that, you know, a lot of them have kind of disappeared, but you know, there's still some cracking around. But we've been from, you know, Manchester to Wales to Brighton, right the way, you know, round to back down to us again. So yeah, we love that. I think you know, last week we played at a place near Milton Keynes, a festival there that was great fun. So we want to be one of these bands that just goes around, meets new people, hangs out and plays our stuff, really.
And have you played with any recognised bands?
There is probably one recognised band, which is Danny Phil from Cradle of Filth's band Devilment. We also did a slot with Andrew O'Neill, who's a comedian that you might be familiar with. We played with a drummer from Venom's band up in Selby. I can't remember the name of their band though, which is really bad, because Defcon 1, that's it, yes.
Name any And all advertising or promotion you've received up until now?
We've pretty much done all our own up until now. We had our own record label, independent record label that I set up called the Snakes on Fire Records, and I would be putting adverts in Terrorizer magazine. I think we were featured on their, one of their covered CDs. We've had some decent reviews from Moshville Times and various others, Planet Mosh, and all these brilliant underground websites and radio shows. We try and do it ourselves because not only does it cost a lot of money, but at the end of the day, if you can't do it yourself, I think you don't understand when other people come along to do it. So we spent the last 8 years doing it ourselves, but luckily now we've found the right people to take us up to the next level and give myself a bit of
push. In your opinion, how is your band different from all the other bands out there?
I think it's different because we don't really try and fit in with the current trend, although we do fit in with the current trend by accident because of the people with the influences and the genre Zoran particularly likes, the Slipknot feel Camille likes. So we just do our own thing based on our influences. We don't want to sound like the Machine Head stereotypical type of style. We progress in our own way, and we really want to make our own sounds, so we try not to copycat. I think that's really important, despite seeing a lot of copycat bands getting further up the bill, and we know it's going to take us longer to get well known for doing our own thing. We think that the actual emotion and reality of what we do is more heartfelt than, say, some of the things we're seeing on the scene at the moment, and that makes us proud to do what we do.
So if a deaf person were to ask you to describe the sound of your music, how would you describe it?
It's a pure sound. It's gritty, it's melodic, it's got that kind of heavy vibe to it. It's rhythmic, pulsating, and it just gets your head moving, really. So to a deaf person, I would say
do you have a tour on the horizon?
we don't have a tour as such. We've got some penciled in dates from October, but nothing's really confirmed for this year. But next year we're doing the HRH Hammerfest, which is I think 11th, 12th of February next year, which is a big one for us because we haven't actually played to a crowd that big yet. So we're really looking forward to doing that. And there's a couple of other festivals that we can't announce yet because they haven't been confirmed, but things are going to look good in 2023, I can tell you that now.
So where can we find your social media sites?
You can start by going to Hedra.uk as the main website, which is currently being developed now, and by the time you see this it will probably be done, I hope so. There's Instagram, and we're trying to keep everything Hedra.uk, so the same with Facebook, Instagram and Twitter and all of those socially adaptable sites. For the Spotify, I would say that you need to just type in Hedra and you'll probably find us.